Hey everybody, Matt Johnston here, and I am talking about social media and social media policies. And I just want to let everybody know that if you are a Maryland employer, or even if you're outside Maryland, you may be able to sign up for a free webinar that I and my intern Arabella Chen will be hosting on November 17th. So it's a little less than 2 weeks away. I'll put the link to that registration down below. Maryland employers would get it as part of the Small Business Development Center. So I just wanted to give a little preview of the question that we're facing when we're dealing with social media policies within the workplace. The first thing that comes up when you're dealing with social media policies is protection of your reputation as a business. Now, I do struggle with this a lot, not with the protection of the reputation, but the notion of somebody's outside personal social media activity being used to reflect upon the employer. Absent specific threats or threats of violence or things like that, I'm pretty much a whatever somebody says is their business and it shouldn't reflect upon the employer. But I'm also realist enough to know that that's not the world that we live in. So when you're dealing with a social media policy, you want to be very, very clear that employees should not be connecting their statements to you as the employer. So you do that through a social media policy that makes explicit that you as the employee are not a spokesman for the business. They should not be connecting their post to your blog, your social media post, your website. And if there's any doubt, they should make absolutely clear in their postings that you do not speak for you as their employer and take steps to ensure that. Now, what are some of the steps that an employer can take? And that's always, always, always the tricky part. So, as a general rule, and in some states it's the law, an employer may not require an employee to require the employee to give the employer the employee's social media login credentials or social media posts or site or page or anything like that. An employer generally cannot require an employee to follow or friend the employer. And as a general rule, I don't like the idea of employers following employees' social media. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do it. You can. It's just you create a kind of fuzzy line, I guess is the best way of looking at it. This strange line between whether or not the employee has a personal life versus their professional life. But these things are possible, so you can follow. But as a general rule, you can't require the employee to follow any of the social media or to allow employer access to social media. There may be some ways that you can contract around that. It's possible that you could have something along those lines, but I would be very reluctant to recommend that to any employer. So you can monitor them though, you can take a look at it. And you can certainly monitor any inbound links that are coming to your social media pages in order to protect your reputation. So the question becomes then, what is the reputation that's being protected? So as a general rule, employees are the ones who act for an employer. There's no way around it. The employer is a business, it's a company. It may be a legal entity, but it lives and breathes by its human employees. So you may want to be careful about discussions of topics related to politics, related to race, related to religion, or any of the sort of the big discrimination groups and categories. The big five being race, religion, color, national origin, and race, religion, color, national origin, and sex. So those are the big five that are protected under Title VII of the United States Code, which deals with discrimination in the workplace. Some states may have additional protected classes. So you want to instruct your employees to avoid issues where they're talking about people involved in any of those sort of big five classes or any of the other protected activity. The reason being is that a statement can easily be misinterpreted. A social media post often gets misinterpreted, and believe me when I tell you from experience, you as an employer or you as an employee can receive an enormous amount of hate for making what seems like a pretty innocuous statement, or making a statement that should not need to be explained on its face, but people infer a great deal of information from. A good case in point is you make a statement about, for example, Blue Lives Matter. And you say it because, well, maybe you have a family member who is a police officer and somebody on that police force has recently died in the line of duty, was killed by somebody in the line of duty. People often post Blue Lives Matter. People will infer sometimes a racist intent behind that message. Is it that intent? Probably not, but it's the inference that people are making. And you may not have implied that intent at all, but it doesn't matter. And once it's out there and people are connecting your employee with you as the employer, you may find yourself in some difficult reputational waters. We're going to be exploring a little bit more of these subjects about social media and social media policies, and some of the cases that are starting to percolate their way through courts and systems like that. It is a difficult line to draw, and I'm not sure if there is any easy line to draw. But we're going to be exploring that over the course of the next few videos, so I hope that you'll tune in. Please hit the subscribe button. It's either going to be here or it's going to be here. I'm not sure which. So subscribe to that, and then you can see our other videos as they become available. In the meantime, have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.